Hi. This screencast will be showcasing my Phoenix web application called Rabbit-EX. It's called Rabbit. Um, yeah. So what Rabbit is basically. Oh, whoops! I already tried implementing a feature and it kind of broke a little bit. So let's hope this part this time around it'll work. Um, so let me start off by showing you what Rabbit does. Um, yeah, so how you start Rabbit is, first off, let's get rid of this database. So that's just a SQLite database that's generated by the Phoenix application. So let's create a new database. So easiest way to do it is to do mix ecto.migrate. Ecto is the database library used by Phoenix. It comes bundled with Phoenix and has got support for all sorts of databases like MySQL, Postgres, SQLite, obviously, and I don't know off the top of my head any of the other ones. Um, so yeah, it's super simple to get started. Um, so now we have a database, as you can see right here. That's our Rabbit dev is our database. The dev represents the dev symbolizes that we're in development mode, and in development mode only that SQLite database will be used. Um, so now that we have a database, what we can do is do mix phoenix.server, and this will run a web server on listening on port 4000. What's wrong here? Page controller. This is something I broke. Um, what happened is you know what? I'm gonna fix it right now, as we speak. I'm gonna open up my editor. So the reason why it's complaining is because it tried accessing this part, and there's no page controller. There used to be a page controller, but then I deleted it because it didn't do anything, which may have not been a good idea, but who cares? So we're going to go into the router file at web-router/router rather, and what I forgot to do was I forgot to remove some of this stuff. So I removed a bunch of these controllers. There's no page controller anymore. There's no live controller. There's no hangout controller. These ones are all necessary. They're actually being used. So I'm just going to get rid of that and commit. GCA, remove vestigial routes, and git push. Lovely. So now that that's git pushed and everything, well, it. Oh my! I should have run it first to make sure. I mean, it still wouldn't work because this path was broken. But in production, what would happen is you just get a 404. But it's fine. Everything else works. So let me show how Rabbit works. So what you do is you can add files to Rabbit. We're gonna give it a URL of test. Um, we're gonna have to specify the location. So I'm gonna specify the location of this project, um, and a file. So this has to be um, a video file, and you specify the content type. I'm not entirely sure if this is necessary. I've encountered certain browsers. It was a while ago, so I'm not sure if it's still valid. But I've encountered certain browsers where this is actually important. I don't like. It's pretty weird to me because like, shouldn't the server be? I mean, yeah, it doesn't matter. Just do it. It's video dash m slash m webm because this is a webm file. So now what I can do is go to localhost 4000/video/test. So the test came from this URL field, and it's just a video player. Yeah, it's just a video player, but it's so much more. There's one more. The main feature, the only thing that Rabbit does at the moment is, I mean, there's obviously like some cool stuff here where it shows you how much time it's raining, but it doesn't. It's not exactly the reason why you'd want to use Rabbit. There's tons of other video players that do that. Um, the reason why you would want to use Rabbit is because you can take control. So one person can take control and it gets swapped out like this. So one user can take control and start playing, and the videos will be synced up. And it's a super simple JavaScript function that basically forwards all the play and stop events, play and pause events rather, to everyone else that's listening. And this is the reason why I chose Phoenix. Phoenix is pretty great for this. It's got this idea of channels where you have a bunch of clients join a channel and they listen for messages. They can broadcast messages. They can send messages to each other. That's the entire idea behind it. Yeah, so it's not exactly at scale. So like it's only two users. You could do this with Socket.io or long polling or something. It's you don't need WebSockets for this, but it's an interesting use case. So and I actually wanted to watch a movie with a friend, so I just wrote this up. I wrote this initially in Node, and then I just found Phoenix, and Phoenix was pretty cool. So I'm not hating on Node, but I just decided to rewrite it in Phoenix and in Elixir using the Phoenix framework. So yeah, that's what Rabbit does. What the feature I wanted to add today was, so let's say there's a directory of videos. Right now, what the user has to do is type in every single video like this, right? It gets it's pretty annoying, honestly. So like what I'd rather have the user do is something like specify a prefix. So it's going to be test. Specify a directory instead of a location. Okay. Directory will be home or something. Home download. Home user downloads or something like that. That'll be the directory. And then they'll specify the content type just like normal. And maybe they might want to specify like a regular expression to filter on certain kinds of files or something like that. Maybe. I haven't looked into it, but that's the purpose of this screencast, to show how, not really to show, but I really want this feature, and I want, like, when I record myself programming, like in the other screencast, I tend to think a little bit more because I'm slowed down by how fast I can explain it. So if I can't explain it, then it's probably not a good idea. That's my reasoning behind this. Not very many people are going to be watching this, so I don't really have to worry about sounding dumb on camera, or saying wrong things. So yeah, let's get to it. Let's write this feature. So what I want to do is create something called, we have a list of videos in here, royalty-free videos, don't want to get sued into oblivion by Google or copyright holders. Um, yeah, so what am I doing now? I need to create a form which I can fill out, and then I'll go and do some magic, and it will populate this table in the database with new stuff. Seems easy now. So what are we doing? So what I need to do is cd into web. Oh wait, hold on. Cd into web. This web directory has a bunch of different folders. There's the channels I was talking about. Channels. Oh man, I forgot to get rid of that. Hangouts. Let's just get rid of that Hangout channel. Hangout channel. Live channel. I wonder what the media channel is. Yeah, this is so this is just abstracted away. This is the same media channel for every single kind of media. I had an idea where I would be able to play any sort of media file, like a audio file. It could be a SoundCloud thing, anything, a YouTube video, anything with anything that can be paused, played, and like, yeah, any sort of media file. I thought I could do it. I'm gonna try it later, but right now I want to get through this. I need the media channel. So I had a bunch of different channels that I was experimenting with, but remove. Okay, push that. Shouldn't have broken anything, I don't think. Yeah, it's fine. So what am I doing now? So what I want to do is create something called a series. So what I'll do is I won't show off channels, but I'll show off like other stuff. Touch controllers. So we need to create a controller called a series controller. Yeah, so we're just going to create that. We're going to need a view. Views are basically a bunch of functions that are called by templates at the time of rendering. I can show it better than I can say it. Series view, and we need a yeah, there's no test there. It's fine. Whatever. We need to create a templates directory for our series. We already have it because I already worked on this a little bit. So I've got a directory for that, and we should be good. So yeah. Okay, so I'm just gonna maximize this, and let's jump into it. I don't know I'm not entirely sure how to do this, but yeah, we can try. Doesn't hurt to try. Let's start out with a route. So when someone goes to series, the server needs to do something with that. So let's create a route. Get series. So whenever someone makes a get request at series, we want to make a call to or rather use the series controller and call the index function in that. And whenever there's a post at series, so whenever someone adds a new series, use the series controller again, and I'm going to call it submit. I'm not sure if these are these are conventional, but I mean, I just want this feature to work. Uh-oh, looks like my laptop's about to die. Okay, all right. God dang it. Sorry, these newer chargers, these newer magnetic chargers on the MacBook Pro, they're super easy to pull out. Just like one tiny yank and it comes out. It's really annoying. So right, so now I need to work with the series controller. All right, so here's how it looks. So def module, rabbit.series controller. Okay. And we're gonna use rabbit.web, and we're gonna specify that it's a controller. And now we can create this function called index. That's the function seen here. So now I can do index do. We need to render, index takes a connection and some params. We're going to ignore the params. That's why we put the underscore in front. If we don't put the underscore in front, then Elixir will complain that the parameter is not being used, and we should specify that the parameter is not being used. So yeah, super simple. We want to render the file, which we haven't specified yet. So let's go do that right after this. Series.html. So if we go into my console again, let's touch templates, series.html.eex. This eex is Elixir's, or rather the templating language that Phoenix uses. It stands for Embedded Elixir. So it lets you embed Elixir code inside of a string. Super straightforward. It's like macro templates in Python, or yeah, it's just string interpolation and stuff like that. Like it's kind of like string interpolation. Like you just specify a string and then you pop in the variables. Simple. Except the popping in part, Phoenix takes care of us. It takes care of for us. So we don't have a series yet. So we're gonna series.html rather. Series.html. So we're gonna define it. We're gonna just say div hello. Simple, simple, simple. Oh, right. I'm going to close one of these because it's unnecessary. Series. What's wrong here? There's no render. Render. So here's the problem. We don't have a view. So every template directory. So if you go into templates, there's a series directory, and then there's a series file. Every one of these has to have a corresponding view. So we're gonna have to define that view. Right now, the view is empty, and I promised I would show how a view worked. It's all in the documentation, but I guess we can go through it. Series view to. I guess it helps cement my understanding of it. So it should be rabbit.csv, I believe. That's your. This is the. I'm not sure what that is, honestly. So now we just specify that it's a view, and that works because that thing's set up. So now I can show you like what it actually does. So let's say instead of this hello, excuse me, instead of this hello, we wanted to do have something dynamic in here. What we could do is that. Uh-oh. That. So this is the EEX I was talking about. Uh-oh. Yeah, so what we could do is instead of saying hello, we could say hi. And what that'll do is it will go into the view looking for a function called say hi. And if we try running this, it's not going to work because there's an undefined function say hi that takes 0 parameters. That's not nice. So let's create a function called say hi, and it says hi there, and it works. So that's what that does. We just need an empty view for every template directory there. Yeah, so now we have a file. We're serving something. What we need to do is put a form here. So form action method should be post. I believe post is the default, but I don't really. I think it's better to be explicit. Now, okay, so the name should be directory. Input name should be prefix, and we'll put labels on these things, but let's worry about that later. And we need an input type submit and name submit and everything submit. I think buttons are the new standard. I don't think anyone uses input submits anymore. So now we just do label directory for directory URL prefix. Sweet. So we have something. Okay. So we have something showing up here. It might make sense to have divs around this. I mean, it's just making it look a little bit prettier, but I mean, I could have like old school BRs, but let's not do that. So we have a form with 2 things. Now, what are we doing with the form? Let's see what happens when we try to submit this. We get, oh no, that's not what I wanted. Okay, let's look at the documentation. That's not what I expected to happen. Adding pages, maybe. I could have sworn it was really straightforward to do it, but I guess not. Let's see. It's not an adding pages. Rows. You know what? Let's look at the Phoenix framework already generated something for me. So there's this resource called a file. That's what's described at this place where you pop in all the files. Um, yeah, yeah. So this thing was generated for me when I did Phoenix, sorry, mix Phoenix dot gen.html, and I told it files, file name, file URL prefix, and things like that. Um, yeah, so very easy. And what it does is it generates this page for you with the controller and the all the functions that you need, and it's secure and everything. So it's nice. Um, yeah. So what am I doing now? I'm gonna I'm gonna look at this file, this generated code. It's not ugly at all, um, and there's a create thing. That's pretty neat. Um, not sure what it. So it says there's a CSRF token missing. CSRF token. Um, let's look it up. It's a security thing where you put in like a randomly generated token, and right, right. So someone could someone there could be another web page or something that forces the user to post to a website, and this CSRF token makes sure that that doesn't happen. Okay, so what's wrong? We could always search for it. Ah, mm-hmm. So they don't want us to create a form manually. They want us to do form for something. So they're form helpers. I don't really want. Okay. Um, so there's a thing, there's a function, I guess, called form for, and honestly, I don't really care much. That like all I want is a dictionary that I can pull some values out of. This isn't fun at all. Hmm. Ah, that's pretty cool. Is there a way to do this without? Oh, okay, that's pretty cool. Yeah, that is cool. Seems fairly straightforward. You don't have to specify the form for it. You can give it a connection. And then what does the search path do? So we can just specify anything there. So what we get is a bunch of helper functions that do a bunch of things for us. And let's try that out. I've never seen this before. I didn't even know this thing existed, but it's interesting. Let's try it out. So what we're going to do is we're going to replace this form with a equals. Yeah, we're going to call this here function. I guess that's the end. So form for connection, we can specify change set if you're here if you wanted to, but I'm just going to specify a connection, and we're going to specify the search path, the path that it's supposed to go to. And I think slash series should be good. And we don't want to specify that. Oh, okay, so this gives us a mapping type. Not sure we really care about that. I think they're very. Yeah, I don't know if that's entirely. I'm not sure if that we don't really care about that. Um, so now we get a form, fn form here, fnf, and this is just a function that takes a form and it returns this thing. I'm not sure what that is. Now we can replace this text input. We can replace. Ah, okay, that's interesting. So what I need to do here is specify as um, series. Let's do that. Okay, and everything else is still the same. Looks good. So now we just do text input. We're going to replace all of that with f. The f that we got here. It's just a text input is just a function that takes a form, presumably. And we specify the name, which in our case is directory. Directory. And yeah, that was easy enough. And we need a submit. And we're just going to call it submit. We're going to put it right there. Probably don't need a label because it probably takes care of that for us. Do the same thing here. except I'm just going to change this to prefix. So simple. Did that actually? Okay, cool. We still need, so that wasn't entirely right. We put that there. Oops. We put that there. That should be, yeah, that's how it should look. We still need a label. There's probably something that takes care of that for us, but let's just do it with like direct, like, I don't mean normal people, I mean like everyone that doesn't use Phoenix. Okay, now we have a directory and a for all prefix. And now we have what I was looking for. So the reason why Phoenix is complaining now is because we said to look in the series controller for a function that takes two parameters called submit. Sorry, a function called submit that takes two parameters. So that's right here. We have an index function. We need a submit function that takes a connection, and it takes some parameters. Now, this is where the stuff that we did earlier comes in. The directory stuff. So go down here. So that symbol that we popped in here, that's just going to be a string when it comes up. So this is going to be directory, and this is going to be prefix. So this is Phoenix's, or sorry, Elixir's pattern matching syntax. What this means is that we get a bunch of key value pairs where the key is a string and the value can be anything. We get a bunch of these, and that's what this underscore params is. The reason why it's underscore here is because Elixir would complain that the parameter is not being used if we didn't have the underscore. Here we're actually using the parameters like so. So it's just a key value pair that we pull the directory, the value of the directory key value pair into this directory variable so that we can use it down here. But this is the error that we saw earlier. No need to worry about it. Now we can refresh. No action clause to process request. So the problem here is that we didn't specify series.html. Okay, just one more thing. I just want to take a look at the file controller, because what the file controller does is there's this thing called a put flash that I really like. What we can do is this transforms the connection and it adds stuff to it. Everything's immutable in Elixir, so we have to go through these transformation steps. We have to pipe the connection into put flash. We could do this manually as well. We could just do put flash. You know what? Don't worry. Yeah, it's not. Put flash error, or sorry, info. Series added successfully. Okay, and we can get rid of that render. And what that does, so that what this pipe does is it just replaces it takes this connection, it puts it into here. So normally it's put flash connection do that and then return something. Return an action probably. Um, it just puts that as the first parameter. It's a little bit prettier to read, and the resulting connection. This function transforms that connection and turns it into something else, and then we take that connection and put it into here, the render, and then we return that as the result of this function. So series added successfully. Okay, so how now we need to now we need to look at where they're actually showing the flash. That's odd. Show.html perhaps? Show file? Nope, that's not it. It's in the layout. There's something in the layout that so layout is what's used in all of these different templates. It wraps the layout. It wraps the individual templates. So we end up with an alert info and error. So it just puts it into there. So it's an info. Should be good. Let's try it again. No matching clause because we didn't save it. Let's try refreshing again. Let's try it again. Sorry. Pat request, no matching action clause. I wonder what that means. We did everything right if I... How about we get rid of that and try refreshing? Nothing. .submit, that's what we did. That's what I did though. It's very odd. Clearly I'm not understanding. Oh, yeah. I think I understand or I think I know what's going on. So I'm pretty sure this pattern match failed. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put this in Scratch here, and come back here and take the params, and I'm just gonna output that params. I'm gonna leave that flash in. So the way you output arbitrary things in Elixir is by doing io.inspect, and this works because there was a CSRF. So right, it says in the documentation, I can show you. It says in the documentation, it gives us a search, which in our case is series, and a for, which is the text input. I forgot to check for this one. It's okay. It's a learning process. So I'm just gonna throw that in there here. Series. It's another key value pair thing. I don't know what it's called. Sweet. So this is how it should look, and leave that in there. So that's how you do form submits. Everything works normally. So now we can do the real stuff. I'm not sure if this should go in. I'm pretty sure what it should do, what we should be doing is putting it into lib and calling it from lib. But it's late at night. I just want to be done with this. So let's just do this. Directory, prefix, content, type, do. Yeah, we're not going to bother with error handling. It's too late at night to care. Copy that. Gonna call it content type. Content type. Content type. Okay, cool. That's what we need. Now we have a new field saying content type. So what we need to do is use alias file as ufile. Ufile is just a Elixir file. That's what I'm going to call it. Let's see if that worked. Nope, did not work. It'll be okay. We just won't have autocomplete. Let's look at the documentation for it, for file. File functions. There's a bunch of different functions. These are all like Unix functions. Cool. ls. Cool. So that's what we need. What we'll do is file. Sorry, efile.ls directory. So we will get a list of strings, I believe. When in doubt with Elixir, what you easiest way to check is to do file dot. No, I don't think no. You can do ls. Oops. Dot, and we end up with this list of strings. So yeah, so we end up with the list of strings, and what we can do is we need to transform these list of strings. Okay, so let's take the content type. Let's take suffix. So we should only take the ones that match a particular suffix. Let's do a case. Let's do some pattern matching again. So case. I forget the syntax for it. I think it's case of case 2. Okay, case content type do. If it's video /m, then output .webm.mkv. That's what we're doing. It's just a first draft. It's obviously not going to work. It's not going to work for what actual WebM files, but it's just a first draft. .mp4. So we're just looking at that, and So these are a bunch of strings. It's a list of strings. Ends with, that's what we need. So what we need to do is video files equals this thing, enum dot filter Okay, cool. So we don't actually have to worry about this. What we can do is make it so that it's also .webm. Cool. So we don't have to worry about that. So the reason why is because ends with can take a string or it can take a list of strings. So it's pretty cool. So now we just do suffix. So that's not entirely perfect because what we need to do is we need to take it's a function that takes stir. Let me close this thing here. It takes a stir and there. Yeah, that probably should be. I hate, like, I'm not really entirely fond of the Ruby likes it. I mean, Ruby looks pretty and all, but like the FN end crap is just really annoying. But they made a pretty decent language, so I'm not gonna spend my entire time hating. String that ends with stir. There's probably like a way to do partial application or something, but let's not dwell on that suffix. If it ends with suffix, then we keep all of them, and that's our list of video files. Pretty great, huh? Now what we can do is we can do I forget how you insert a file into the database. We can look at file controller. It's just repo.insert, and that's it. Clearly, it doesn't understand. Yeah, this is my editor, my rookie plugin. So I have a list of video files that are valid. Now what I can do is take them and put them in the database. Simple. There's a for syntax here. I forget how that works. It's called a comprehension. So for, and then pull that out. So for video for f in, oh, sorry, not in, there's a little arrow thingy, for f in video file do something. repo dot we're going to insert this repo here. I want to know, I don't understand what change sets are. Oh, right. So change set basically lets us validate it. It's pretty bad, but I'm not going to bother with that. It's my excuse once again is that it's too late at night. I'm sorry. We have a model here, and it's going to be I think there's a zip with. Let's see if that's possible. So that's great. Two lists. One is going to be called A1. 1, 2, 3. B is going to be 3, 2, 1. Enum dot zip. Okay, it's gonna zip A and B. A underscore and B underscore, and then do I dot put A B. What? I'm not entirely sure what happened. Let's try putting respect A. Oh. Let's try and yeah, so we end up with the thing. So what I can do is enum.zip video files. So what this gives us is an index, basically. We can do one dot dot enum dot length video files. Video files. Okay. And we can get an I and an F out of this. So the F is going to be just the string of the file. And Yeah, I wish it understood that notation. There's obviously some validation that we're missing, but let's not concern ourselves with that. So what we're going to do here is, sorry, let's say I is 1 and F is the friends who do stuff together. No. Let's say it's F is some directory, or is some file called ABC. Oh, sorry, not F. Shouldn't be F. It should be directory. Directory is some directory called user. I don't know, like root downloads minder. Can I concatenate I with this? Oh, looks like I can. So what I need to do is probably do I like that. Okay, that's possible. abc.web. Okay, cool. So I can concatenate things like that. Cool. So I should take the prefix, URL prefix, O. And insert I here. And the string will take care of everything for us, hopefully. Location is going to be the directory, followed by a slash. I mean, yeah, we probably have to check later on. Followed by F, and we have the location. Content type is just going to be the same. Content type is just going to be content type. And the field, VTT location, that refers to the subtitles, is just going to be blank. So now that we have that, we can do repo.insert file. I'm not sure I really care if it succeeds or not. I want it to blow up if it doesn't. This isn't a consumer-facing app. It's not exactly like we're like building something for NASA. It shouldn't be too bad. I mean, I'd like to take pride in my work, but it's late at night. That's my excuse. Yeah, it looks pretty good. So if it's an MKV, then add all the MKVs. Let me just double check for a second that I actually do have videos that are the same type. Okay, thank you. They're both MP4. All right, let's see if it works on the first try. Hopefully there's some tiny error that we have to syntax error before as. Is that why? You know what? There's an example of this in our, no, not here. In our stream controller, I believe. there's a comma. And it's an object, or whatever that thing's called. And it's require this. That explains why my editor didn't understand it, because it wasn't valid syntax. Okay, so something's wrong here. Before location. I think it's because I may have forgotten the commas. File struct is undefined. I thought we just required it. Let's look at an elixir struct. How do you construct an elixir struct? Ah, right. So what we need to do is this. Looks like we're still getting a compilation error. I may have screwed something up. Cannot expand. That is what I did. I think the order of these may matter. I don't believe I'll need ecto.query. It's because file doesn't know what a file is. It knows what a rabbit.file is. So that works. Let's do this right. Okay. Series added successfully. No errors. Did it really work on the first try? No way. Of course it didn't work on the first try. Okay, so what went wrong? It should have inserted, oh. What went wrong is that we never call this function. Add files. I believe it's enum.len. I'm not sure how to get the size. There's probably something. I just want to know the length of a list. Is that not possible? I probably just misread it. Um, intersperse summary, I believe that's what I need. Count. Yeah. No way. I found that very hard to believe that it actually worked. Oh man, it actually worked. Nice. So now I have bits-1. Let's see if. Let's see. Nice. Beautiful. I can't believe that actually worked. Man, that's awesome. And it only took me an hour and 15 minutes. I'm going to add the web folder. GC git add web. No test, but who cares? Yeah, that's pretty cool. That is really cool. Sweet.